Hi guys, this is going to be a quick video to discuss how you can modify your default audio and your default MIDI channels more to optimize your workflow than anything else. They're not big changes, but it's something that a lot of beginners tend to overlook, and I think it's important when you've got ideas fresh in your head that you can get them down as sort of quickly and efficiently as possible. Now here you can see with a fresh Ableton project, it comes preloaded with one audio channel, one MIDI channel, with no devices, no effects or anything loaded onto either of them. Now what I like to do is my common effects that I use on pretty much every channel, what we can do is load these onto our audio and onto our MIDI channel, and then save them as our new default. So what that means going forward is any new audio or MIDI channels we create will automatically have these effects preloaded onto them. Now the first I always tend to have is an EQ. I have that on pretty much every channel. And secondly is utility. Now, if you're not sure what the utility is for, I use it for pretty much any volume automation that I'll do within a channel. A mistake a lot of beginners make is when it comes to automating the volume, they'll probably quite rightly so head for the main channel volume. But when you come to the mix down stage of your track, this can cause real problems. But that's something I'll go into in a bit more depth in a later video. Again, these are the only two I use, but if you find yourself using a lot of filters, things like that, you can have as many effects preloaded onto these as you want. But I like to keep things sort of pretty simple. So I'll also add these two to my MIDI channel. Again, for the sake of this tutorial, I'm just using the stock Ableton effects, but you're not limited to using them on when you're saving a new default. You can use any sort of third-party VST or effect. I think that's it as far as devices that I tend to have. Now, before we save it, there's one other thing we can change. You'll see here by default Ableton has each channel set at 0 dB. Now I tend to set both of these to -6, and again that's just with a bit of foresight into mixing down later on in the project. You'll find as you're adding more and more tracks, very quickly you'll get to the point where your master levels clip in. So I create every sort of new channel at -6 just to try and maintain a little bit of headroom below the clipping point on the master. And this just sort of helps you a little bit when it comes to mixing down your track at the end. Okay, so now we've added them devices, we can save that as our default audio. It will probably prompt you to overwrite the previous default, and also we can save that as our new default MIDI. And you'll see that any new audio track we create comes preloaded with them effects now, and also any new MIDI track. And that's pretty much it for modifying your default channels. Again, you'll see that they come with the default new default -6 dB on the channel level. We can take this one stage further and we can modify our overall project template, just so that whenever you start a new project, you've you've got a few sort of basic things sort of preset for you. Now you see here Ableton gives you a default project tempo of 120 BPM. Now most of the stuff I produce tends to be around 125, so we'd change that, and I have 4 audio channels, 4 MIDI channels. Just collapse them to keep things a bit tidier. You can then go ahead and save this as your, it calls it as default set, but basically what you're doing is it's a default project template. You see here, if we set that back to how the factory default would be, and create a new live set. Comes in with all our channels that we added with the devices on them and our desired project tempo. And that's pretty much it, guys. Like I say, it's just a short one, and hopefully you've gained something from it, and look forward to seeing you in the next video.